Hello everybody, hello Manchester United fans, this is Forever United TV. It is match day, early kickoff on a Sunday. I don't like it, I don't like the midday kickoff time, but that's what we've got. An advantage today for United. Crystal Palace coming off the back of that Europa League game in midweek. Can United take advantage of that? We will have the watch along and build up to the game starting at around about 10 o'clock this morning, so join us there for that as well. Straight after this live show, we are going into Big Up as well, having a little bit of a call-in. If you want to have your say ahead of the game, then please do make sure that you get involved there as well. Lots going on. I'll talk about that as we finish up the show as well. But Rúben Amorim's embargoed version, or part two as such, of the press conference is out late last night, and Rúben has been going in on his team's performance. He's naming players, he's publicly blasting them. In my opinion, I think here this is a cry for help from Rúben Amorim. Give me your thoughts on what you think from what we're going to read through this morning as well, everyone. Give me your match day input as well, and give me your thoughts and confidence ahead of the game this afternoon. What does Rúben Amorim need? It's a must win, isn't it? It is. And he's going to need his players on board to get him that win. But the way he's been talking in this press conference, like, some fans will look at this and say, this is good, he's seen the same thing that we are. But some will obviously be looking at this and going, well, really, if he's wanting these players on board with him, then he's going to have to really get these players on board with him, because talking about them in press conferences, in particular Dalot and Dorgu, we all know are not good enough right now for Manchester United. Well, in the case of Dorgu, not good enough now. Maybe he'll come good. The signs are not looking good at the moment. Dalot, I think we've given up on, to be honest. But he is saying that both of these players are struggling. This team is soft. Soft in the tackles, soft in one-on-ones. Everton had one shot on target and it went in. Otherwise, we'd be talking about top four in this press conference. Those are the words that are coming out of our manager's mouth ahead of this Crystal Palace game. And he's bang on the money. He's dead right. He is right. The goals that go in, the way that United play, the moments in certain games, over the last 4 games in particular for Manchester United, could have swung it either way for either side. So really, when he's saying like we could be talking top 4, we could have lost to Nottingham Forest and to Spurs as well. Let's not forget that. And we could be bottom half trying to get back up into the top half of the table. Everything could have been different. We're now bottom half of the table again today and in much need of a win. When he's going in on the players in this press conference, I'm listening to that. I'll put it on this morning. I listened to it, part 2 of it. His press conferences are not very long at the moment, but he pretty much said exactly the same things he's been saying since he's been at Manchester United. But this time with the players in particular, and we touched on this yesterday on the Semenyo story as well, if you remember, talking about the wing-back areas, the wide play for Manchester United not being good enough. He says both Dalot and Dorgu are struggling to cope with playing in this system. He isn't changing this system, so that for me says get me better players to play it. Let's not forget as well though, Patrick Dorgu was brought in by Rúben Amorim and Ineos less than a year ago, and I thought at the time there was a reason behind it. There's a reason why Manchester United are going all in on Patrick Dorgu. They see him as a future player, obviously still young as well. But Rúben's talking about Dorgu in particular, first of all. Let's start with him, about how he plays for Denmark and how he plays for Manchester United. He's a different player for Denmark than he is for United. In them decision-making moments for Denmark, he is on it and is making clear-cut and decisive decisions. For Manchester United, it isn't the same. It's not the same for United, and this is a massive, massive worry, because when you look at what we've got coming up and the pressure of these games coming up for Rúben Amorim, if he's going into press conferences and coming out in public and having a go at his players like this and saying they need to do a lot better, then you start to worry that it might affect them the other way, because we know these players. I don't know for Dorgu, he's not been here long enough, but these are weak mentality players, and they have proved that season in, season out for Manchester United. So where I love the fact that he's being cutthroat and really saying it as it is, there is a part of me that also does worry that this might not help Rúben Amorim, because we want him to succeed. I mean, look, there's people in this chat right now, and I know there's a lot of United fans that have given up on Rúben Amorim, but at the end of the day, we want United to win. And we have to try and get the best out of these players in these moments and in these situations that we're in. We're down again and we're not playing very well, and we need them to turn up against Crystal Palace today. I just don't know if this is the right approach for this moment. Look, I'm cutthroat, I'm hardcore, and I would love this. This would suit me well. I want someone to come out and absolutely slaughter me. I would like this, but are these players that way? Because in the past they've shown us that they're not. And this for me is Rúben saying to the board, get me a new wing back. I need somebody else like Amad. We already spoken about this, like I said yesterday on Semenyo. And again, he's come out in the press conference and said the same thing. You need a Amad 2.0 on the left-hand side for United. And we talked about the Semenyo links and Manchester United making their move yesterday morning. I think this is where Rúben is with his team right now. Looking at the midfield, I don't know, is my honest answer now. He's also talked, I mean, just for instance here, I'll talk about what he says on Kobbie Mainoo. This is what he said about Mainoo. So I consider him a starter just like other players. I simply had to make a choice, and in the end, it wasn't Kobbie who was chosen, but in the future, I don't know. I'll say it again. Casemiro wasn't playing, then he started playing. I just want him to win match. I just want to win matches. I don't care who plays, just want to win matches. I get it, but and you all know, and this is me being completely honest right now, that you all know that I'm trying to back Rúben Amorim on this. Just got that horrible sinking feeling again that, like, sometimes you need someone to come out and make a bit of a statement when talking. And Rúben really is sinking a little bit here with this. I think he's getting tired of being asked the same questions. He's getting tired of having to repeat himself. And you can see it in his demeanour and the way he opens up. I think he's frustrated that his team aren't clinical and aren't physical enough in games. And this is really making it hard for him. And these questions are going to come around because Everton had one shot and it went in. And that was it. And these fine margins might have been different. The conversation, like he says, would have been different. Would have been talking top four. But when you say before there is a plan for Kobbie Mainoo, which he did say, and then he says in the future, I just don't know. To me, that there isn't getting a squad on board with you. Don't get me wrong, I have got no issue with Bruno Fernandes playing ahead of Kobbie Mainoo. And when he says Casemiro started to play, well, look who Casemiro was competing with. And then you could say, well, yeah, you're right about that, Rúben Amorim. But now Kobbie Mainoo's competing with Bruno Fernandes. Well, the conversation is different. And you cannot compare Casemiro's situation to that one of Kobbie Mainoo's this season. We all know it. And look, I've defended the fact that Bruno plays because he's better than Kobbie Mainoo. But let's be honest, you cannot say that Kobbie Mainoo's got the same chance Casemiro has. Because he's up against Ugarte, he's up against, well, who else was there last season? There was no one else. It's the same team. So, of course, Casemiro's going to start playing because Ugarte completely fell off. Bruno Fernandes is, as much as people don't like him in the way that he plays, and he divides opinion in his fan base so much, he is always going to play games and do more for us in games than what a Kobbie Mainoo or any other player is going to do. So, it's not the same. And when he says there, I don't know, that is kind of worrying for me in that I don't think he's going to get Kobbie Mainoo on board. So when Kobbie Mainoo comes on the pitch, you're going to get performances like what he did against Everton and like what we got against Grimsby and like what we got when he played against Brighton. But that's down to the players' side of things, of course, and that's a separate debate. Like, really, do you really want to go on the pitch and make a point that way by performing poorly? Look, the manager's got to get more out of each player, but the players have to take responsibility themselves, I think. And Kobbie Mainoo is not at the moment, in my opinion. Rúben isn't helping himself either in this, so we're in a lose-lose situation right now, aren't we? It's really awkward, and that's why I've given up on the midfield. When it comes to the wing-backs, this is what Chris Wheeler had to say. Amorim says Dorgu and Diogo Dalot are struggling at left wing-back. What I feel when I see them training, they are doing so much better than in games. I think they are far from the best, and they know it, like a lots of the players on our team and like myself. It really looked like he was saying they are not the best, and then had to recover himself by saying, and they know it, like a lot of other players. Like, I think he really was talking there about him, about these two, and saying that they're just not good enough. And then he had to sort of backtrack a little bit and come back on himself and say that, wow, yeah, they are like everyone else, though. It's not just them. Well, it is just them. It really is. They are. In particular, Dalot's performances this season, I think he's been the most inconsistent player Manchester United have got this season. And we haven't been pulling up trees by any stretch, but I think he has been awful this season for Manchester United. So when he says there they are not the best, far from the best. And they know it. And then you go back to what you said about Kobbie Mainoo. I just don't know now. I don't know anymore. It just looks like he really is out of players. And we did a video the other day. Is Rúben Amorim out of ideas or out of players? And we were talking about this. I just don't think he's helped himself in this press conference, especially after what happened against Everton and now ahead of Crystal Palace, who we have to beat today. It is a real struggle. Let's get into the comment section early doors. We'll talk a little bit more about this as we go forward as well. But give me your thoughts in the chat, everybody. Please pop a like on the video as well, everyone, if you are in with us as well live this morning. It's going to be a long old day. We're finishing here and then we're going to do a quick calling on Big Up, and then we're also going to jump straight into the watch along after that and really get into it. 10 o'clock. There isn't much time to break today. It's full on all the way through. Nervous? Yes, massively nervous. And I'm really not sure what's going to happen today. But give me your thoughts on this as well, everybody. Glyn says, Dorgu has had nearly a full season and his horrific attacking stats. Can't have that in a 4-3-3 or a 3-4-3 when you need to attack. There should be repercussions for not playing up to standards. Players look like they're just to pick up a salary. That's again another comment just coming in there. We didn't make any improvements after sacking Erik ten Hag. On the contrary, we are worse. I don't think we're worse. I really don't. I think the squad is in a better place. Culture-wise around Manchester United, I think it's better, but that counts for nothing if you're not winning games. So I get the argument, I totally do, and I'm not saying that you're wrong. I just think we're in a better place off the pitch, but it does count for Jack if you're not winning games. Everything is about winning games, and he just cannot get it out of the team. He cannot get it out. We've left ourselves short again, and that's what I think a lot of people's issue is. You've left yourself short. You were happy with the transfers you made. You could have gone out and got more, and we didn't. And this is the problem. Appalling man management from a coach who talks and talks but fails miserably to walk the walk. 30% win record. I'd all but the proof them lemmings should need. That's what, right. I get what you're saying there. In terms of people who are backing Rúben Amorim there, the 30% win ratio should tell you that you are wrong. Look, again though, I'll say this before the game, so you know I'm not hiding away from it. You know that I backed Rúben Amorim this week in a way. I was just breaking it down and just saying, look, I don't think any else are going to sack him. We're going to have to deal with it. But if we win today, all of a sudden it changes. A win today for Manchester United makes it one defeat in 7. We're back in the top 6 and everything's looking completely different. And then the narrative completely switches again to United looking forward. Can we beat West Ham and Wolves? And all of a sudden you're like, oh the hell, we're back in the top 4 again. But they have to turn up today. If they lose today, then you know the knives, they've already been sharpened. The knives are going right in, aren't they? Everyone's going to be at the wit's end, and it's going to be a horrible day for Manchester United fans today if we don't get the win. I feel sorry for the fans that are travelling down there to London today if we don't get a win. He needs to get something out of this team. He really does need to find a way of just getting a result today. The performance probably is going to come secondary to points, I would say, today. I know we're clinging on to performance and need to see improvements, but right now we just need points on the board. And with the team that we've got, we're missing out on Cunha again. Obviously no Sesko either. Someone's going to have to stand up and do something different. And it's going to come down to probably some individual moment again today is what it seems like for me. Because we cannot really see much in terms of team play, especially after the games that we've played recently away from home. A few moments that we've been good and then bang, they just completely mentally collapse. A few more comments, let's get in, everybody. I want to see every player perform as if their lives depend on it. After the Everton debacle, we'll need to against Palace, who always scrap like hungry tigers. Euro extensions are not Yep, they always make it difficult for us. I hate this. He constantly throws the players under the bus and acts like none of this is any of his responsibility. A bad manager. See, look, I'm trying to balance this out. I'm trying to balance out the fact that he is up against it. The players that we've still got work to do, and we still need to work on the squad. But can you get away with saying that these players are not good enough? I haven't got a problem with it. I just see the problem with it in other people's eyes. And these players have shown before, like I said earlier on in this video, that they're mentally not prepared to take that criticism. And then it's all on them. The world's on the shoulders. And let's feel sorry for us again. I just hate that whole look about Manchester United when these players look for the excuses and are given excuses like the world is too much for them playing for Manchester United. The criticism is too harsh. Not for me at all. You know the way that I support Manchester United. I've got no sympathy or excuses for any of these players. They need to turn up today. And I don't know where it's going to go. I honestly don't know where it's going. I just don't think Rúben's helped himself with the players. I don't think there's many fans are bothered about what he's saying. Although there's a few people in the chat thinking he's made a mistake here. But I think he's only saying what we're seeing. So that's good in a way that we're all on the same page. But aren't you worried that he is just doing the same thing again? And we are going to be watching the same performance? That's what concerns me. Jonathan says, Fernandes and Casemiro will get bullied by Wharton and learns today. Palace are far stronger in midfield. I think that was a typo in there as well. I get what you mean, mate. Do you have a second team, Adam, in the lower divisions? No, I don't really, mate. I don't. And honestly, I think all of my time into Manchester United takes up most of my weeks of support anyway. I haven't got any time for anyone else, apart from my Winton ladies team, who have got a game later this afternoon as well. Big clash for us. So it's going to be hopefully a win-win day for me today, for United first, and then off to Winton ladies and getting another victory there. Hopefully that's what's going to happen anyway. We desperately need it. We desperately need it. In terms of the Matthias Cunha situation as well, Manchester United are going down the concussion protocol. That's why he isn't available. The concussion protocol is don't play for 6 days. We've already passed that, so there must have been something else that really concerned Manchester United with Matthias Cunha. Really frustrated when we heard that news the other day. It's a big loss today for Manchester United, but there must be something else involved, because concussion protocol has passed for Matthias Cunha now. So I don't know. I would like to know, and no one's really asked the question. It's just been a case of everyone going on Rúben and what might happen, style of play and what's going on, rather than the important questions that need to be asked him. What are the details behind Matthias Cunha still being out of this side? That's, I think, should have been asked, and it's not. So we still don't know with that at the moment. But looking at it, and we'll talk more about the team later on when we kickstart the build-up on the watch-along at 10 o'clock. But this, as a press conference video now, I think we just got to look at this and look at Rúben Amorim. Has he got this team prepared? From what he said, no to me. But again, we're only ever going to know if, well, when the players walk out onto the pitch. That's the big thing, isn't it? Let's just see what else we've got in here quickly. I hate defending managers, but if anyone watched the Everton game and doesn't realise why he kept on the centre-back, then I've got some beans to sell you. Yeah, I get that. But he was asked that question as well. When it came to I've got a few more quotes from the press conference here now. When it came to the centre-backs, Rúben Amorim went into detail on this, and he was asked on the goals conceded while playing 5 defenders, and this is what Rúben Amorim said in response. It depends on how you play. Some teams play with 4 centre-backs. I play with 3, and one of them is Luke Shaw. Sometimes it's Nus Mazraoui and Shaw, so it's just 1 centre-back. And when you have Ahmad as a wing-back, he's a winger and not a wing-back. It depends on how you look at it. We're too soft near the box. We conceded too many crosses against Nottingham Forest. Against Everton, we conceded from one, their only shot on target. It changes how you look at it, but we obviously have to do better. It's not a problem with the defenders, but with how we sense the danger. So don't expect Rúben Amorim to change at all. He did not have a problem with having that many defenders on the pitch because he didn't have that many defenders on the pitch in his eyes. What he's done there is deflect away from having 5 defenders on the pitch, though, because Dorgu and Mazraoui are defenders at wing-back, and then you've got 3 centre-backs. I have no idea what he's talking about when he says we've got 1 centre-back sometimes. He's hardly ever played Nus Mazraoui in the back 3. I don't think he's played him at all there this season from my reckoning. So I'm not sure what he's on about. I think he brought him on as a sub against Forest, maybe. So I've got no idea what he's going on about there, honestly. And again, it just seems to be another Rúben Amorim sidestep when asked that question, because he did have 5 defenders on all the way up till half-time when Everton were down 2-10 men. And they scored that goal with us having 5 defenders on the pitch. So I can't defend him at all on that. As you know, I'm just going to say it as it is. There is no way. I've got no idea. That is mumbo jumbo to me from Rúben Amorim. I don't know where he's going with that. I think he's just digging himself a bit of a hole there with the media and the explanation to having so many defenders on the pitch. Look, I get in a way what he's saying. Some have 4 centre-backs. Who plays 4 centre-backs? I don't know any team that plays 4 centre-backs. And when he's talking about Ahmad didn't go to wing-back until the second half when you brought off Mazraoui. So, sorry, Rúben, I can't help you with that one. It's difficult to try and defend what he says with that there because it makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. Orozco has arrived, by the way, and he's in town. I don't know if he's going to be watching the game today or has he been invited down to Sellers Park. I have no idea. But he is in, and Dorgu's taking pictures outside Old Trafford. I'm sure you've seen all of that. I think the annoying thing from the Everton game was the fact that Newcastle, who haven't won a game away from home all season, went and smashed Everton 4-0 yesterday, and we couldn't get anywhere near their box. I was just like, why? Why does that happen to us all of the time? It's the same thing, isn't it? It is incredibly difficult to watch Manchester United play certain teams, then watch that same team the following week completely capitulate in front of a team that hasn't been performing very well. It's if you cannot grasp the fact that everyone turns up to Old Trafford and wants a piece of you and is going to play like a cup final, if you haven't got the mental strength to handle that, then you are not going to be a Man United player. I think Rúben is hinting here about the players not being good enough. More than anything else, I think he's hinting towards that. And that's where we're at. I really do think that that is the case here. And I don't know if he's helping himself by saying what we're all seeing, but when he's not changing what we're all seeing, then he's not really going to get any further. He's not getting any further, is he? He really isn't. There is reports on the transfer side of things as well this morning, which is on Adam Wharton. Funnily enough, tabloids talking about Adam Wharton as we play Crystal Palace. It's complete and utter, well, it's match day in it, so I'll swear for it, bullshit is what I'm reading here. I've just got the story in front of me. Manchester United are confident of signing Adam Wharton next summer in a £70 million deal, but he will only leave Crystal Palace to join a club that cannot offer him European football. You may see that story in the tabloids or online this morning on social media. Don't read too much into it because it's just a story made up, because we are looking at playing Crystal Palace today. That is it. So in terms of the transfers this morning, I am not looking at anything seriously from what I've seen, so I'm not going to bring it up. I'll just tell you the stories that are actually out there that people are actually writing. It's absolute garbage. Now, good news. Very good news for Manchester United fans. I know, it seems really miserable, doesn't it, going into a match. I'm switching it up now, though. I'm switching it up. Shea Lacey. Now, This has come out from Sully earlier on as well, who says 18-year-old Shea Lacey is set to be on the Manchester United squad against Crystal Palace again. And the English international was with the travelling squad earlier on yesterday and also trained with the first team. Possibility of a debut given forward injuries is high. Well, it's looking more and more likely with everything that's happening right now that Shea Lacey is getting closer to making a Manchester United debut. This is probably the best bit of news we've got going into the game today again. I love the fact that we've got Shea Lacey coming through and is part of the squad. I've said all that to say about what I think about academy players coming through into the first team when it's working. And I've not changed. I'm still of the same stance. And I feel like Shea Lacey coming in now, I like the fact that the players come through, but I don't like the fact that they're coming through into a malfunctioning first team. Let's just say that. I think that's the best way you can describe Manchester United right now. It's all over the place. Look, if he comes on the pitch, I'll be happy. I'll be celebrating it. It's great. I just wish that it was working a little bit better for Manchester United and Shea Lacey would have been coming through into a team that actually knew what it was doing. And from what Rúben said in the press conference there, he's really not confident that the team do know what they're doing or willing to do what he wants them to do, which is fight harder, locate your balls, basically. Sorry for being so crude, but it is now. He's calling the players out a little bit here, isn't he? Well, Shea Lacey today, we did a video last night on JJ Gabriel. The academy side of Manchester United is really motoring right now. The only thing that's not working at this football club at this present time, on and off the pitch, is Man United's first team. The one thing you need to be working right for everything else to come together is failing miserably right now. So, again, buzzing that we have got the likes of Shea Lacey coming through. Will he play today? I've got no idea. I don't think he will. I really don't. I think the players on the bench ahead of him, we've just talked about Kobbie Mainoo, where he's going to fit in. Manuel Ugarte is there in midfield. The wing-back situation, you've got probably a mix of, obviously, Mazraoui there, Dorgu, Dalot, Ahmad, I think, for him. In the number 10s, Mount, Xerxes, Mount, Xerxes and Bumo. Maybe we'll see him pop up in the 10 role. I think that's probably the one area that you could say he's going to actually feature. That's the only position I can think of. I can't think of him coming on anywhere else on the pitch. I just don't see him fitting in anywhere else on the pitch, to be honest, either. But look, it's great news that he's there. It's great news that he's in the squad again. That's basically it with it. I'm really pleased for the academy for bringing through another prospect. Do you know what? In the perfect world, this is a 0-0 game. Shea Lacey comes on off the bench and scores the goal for Manchester United and gets us the 3 points. And then all of the talk of Rúben Amorim not giving youth a chance and things like this starts to drift away. United are in the top 6. It's 1 defeat in 7. It's actually decent form. And like Rúben says in his press conference, just to back him up on that one moment, if we'd have beaten Everton or got them goals in, it would have been a completely different conversation that was being had in the press conference. The bad thing for Rúben is it didn't. And it isn't. And you just got to deal with it. And that record from last season is always going to come back around and bite you on the arse every single time you have a poor performance, because nobody is willing to allow you to have any more rope. And you need results now. So if the same things happen that happened last season happen now, you're going to get slaughtered. And he needs to realise this. It's all right having Ineos behind him and backing him and wanting to keep him there and give him the chance and want to spend money on him, but his fan base won't back you if you keep losing games. There is no more excuses for Rúben Amorim. He's already used up his lives last season. And look, I think it's a bit harsh that after one game, and I said this before, and this is where a lot of people absolutely ripped my head off, and they'll still stand by it. I thought it was a bit harsh that we went completely in. We booed the team and everything at Old Trafford after one defeat against Everton when we had some decent form going into it. So, not forgiving that performance one bit. And don't get me wrong, it was an absolute disgrace. I said, let's see if we can bounce back from Palace, beat them, and then beat West Ham and Wolves. And then let's see if that changes things. So, yes, that I think would change the narrative. If United beat Palace today, not many people are talking about Everton. If we beat West Ham, then everything changes again the other way. I am very, very, very aware of the other way, though. And that is definitely still in my mind and is a major, major concern for me as well. Look, we are going to be kickstarting everything this morning very, very quickly. It's going to be show after show after show. So I'm just going to drop the link. We have got our prediction game coming up alongside the watch along later. But that is the link there in the live chat, everybody, to the prediction game, and a link to Big Up as well at the same time, which is where we're going to be going right after this show in just a moment. We're going to be doing a quick call-in show. I'm going to make my predictions live on that show as well. We're going to get everything done, and we're going to then lead ourselves into the watch along, the build up, the warm up, everything for the game today against Crystal Palace. We start at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock here on YouTube. It is going to be dual streamed alongside on Big Up as well, everybody. So we're going to fly across now to Big Up. We're going to start everything early. That is all of your news this morning. Everything wrapped up. Everything that Rúben said, all that's left for us to talk about is the game. We're going to do that when we start at 10 o'clock. So a long show this morning, everybody. So make sure that you click on that link there in the live chat. Join us over on Big Up in just a moment. And we're going to kickstart the whole match day there in just a moment's time. So thank you, everybody who's been on this show. Thank you for all the likes. Please pop a like on the video when you do leave the room, or before you leave the room, sorry. We'll continue this conversation in just a moment. But they're the news building up to the game. It's all about the match now, and everything on Man United at Crystal Palace. That starts in just a moment on Big Up. But for now, that is us all done here. I thank you, and I will see you very, very soon over on Big Up. Cheers, everybody.